So is networking an important part of your marketing strategy? Hi, this is Bernie Heine, and today I want to talk about 10 networking tips that'll help you be more effective at networking. Your business is your brand. You are your brand. You're representing your business every time you go out and meet with other people and talk about your company, your abilities, the products you sell, and your business is a total reflection of how you present yourself in those circumstances. So I have a short list of items here that I want to talk about today that might help you become more effective whenever you're out networking. So tip number one is develop that networking mindset. So what do I mean by that? So networking is about creating networks. It's about connecting individuals. So when you're in a networking meeting, you're out meeting different people, we want to have that mindset that we're there for the principal purpose of making connections. Not just my connections with many people, but think about making connections overall in the group. Number two is develop and practice your elevator pitch. Now, what's the elevator pitch? This is that really quick introduction that you use when you meet somebody. Hi, my name is Bernie, and I'm a business coach. How does that leave people? Well, how about if I said, hi, my name is Bernie Heine. I help executives earn more and work less. How does that sit with you? So think about the elevator pitch is often best when we talk about how it benefits, how what you do benefits other people, and not specifically what you do. We want to avoid the back and forth, boring kind of interaction that people often have with each other, because they assume that what they really need to say is, hi, I'm an insurance salesman, or I'm an investment banker, or I'm a business coach, or I'm an executive coach, or I'm a trainer. Those are all interesting things, but they don't encourage much dialogue. It doesn't encourage people to ask more questions. When you focus on the benefits that you bring to your clients, you have a much bigger impact in the message, and it will encourage some dialogue to take place. So tip number three is choose only the events that are relevant to you. Networking is not just going out and partying, it's work. And we want to meet people that help us in our business and our careers and getting ahead. So take a look at the speakers list and the guest list and make sure that that event that you're going to is one that's really relevant to you and really important. Tip number four is once we've identified the events that we want to go to, is create a strategy, create some goals about who is it in particular that you want to meet. What are you going to say to those people when you meet them? Have a clear idea of what the outcome should be of attending that particular event. Tip number five is note that in every interaction, you're going through a series of stages. You first meet somebody, and then you enter into questions, a dialogue back and forth, and you establish certain connections, and the idea that you know different people, you've been in the same industry, you've had a similar job, you're pulling together connections. And then you're looking to move to next steps. And next steps might be, this isn't really working, this is not the right person for me, I don't see any opportunities here, let me pass this person on to someone else, or we want to set up an appointment so that we're looking to close the conversation and say, great, I'll give you a call tomorrow, or we'll meet next Tuesday for lunch, whatever you agree to, but you want to have a clear closing. And you want to think about every interaction in the networking event as going through that similar process, moving towards a definitive endpoint that you both agree on makes the most sense. Tip number six is make sure you work the event. Having a set of goals laid out. What do I want to accomplish? Now, some of you might be extroverted, and you probably love going to events, and you just can't get enough of meeting people and talking to people, engaging with them. But a downside of that might be that you end up spending too much time with too few people. and might be very interesting conversation, but is it getting you towards your goals? Now, if you had set goals in advance that you want to meet 6 or 7 people, or you want to get 3 business cards, or you want to set 2 appointments, whatever that might be, having those in the back of your mind during your conversations might help you move along and not just spend too much time maybe with one individual that you really get along with and love to talk to. But let's say you're more on the introverted side. Going to these networking events might be a very painful experience. Well, having a set of goals can help you know when you're done. So I had a conversation about this recently with a client about just setting up 3 appointments was his goal. So therefore, once he got to that point, he knew he could disengage from the event and not have to be out there the whole time. He knew sort of his end point. He knew what he was up for. The 7th tip is to be interested, not interesting. Be interested in what you're hearing from people and not focused on your performance. You're not on stage delivering a monologue to a crowd. You're at a networking event and you want to learn about other people. You want to understand where they're coming from. The best salespeople listen much more than they talk. In networking, you're a salesperson, and you need to listen to understand what other people's needs and wants are, so that you can then come up with a good strategy for how to best help them. So be interested in other people and not worried about being interesting. The 8th tip is networking is not selling. Selling is something we do afterwards when we've set up an appointment with somebody. This is not a time to be hawking your wares. And people that do that, and there are plenty of people that you'll meet at networking events that feel this is a big sales opportunity, they often get shunned by the group. They're the people nobody wants to talk to anymore because they're in your face trying to sell you something right now, trying to get you to buy whatever it is they have right now in this minute. Only thing we're trying to accomplish in a networking event is to gain connections, help other people get connected, and for us to have appointments set afterwards, and there's plenty of time to be selling your products after the event. So the 9th tip, and this goes for really large events, you might want to consider double teaming. Take a colleague along and split up the group, split up the list of names of people you want to talk to. And a key thing to pay attention to is don't find yourself each talking to the same individual. If you're there with 2 people, spread out. If you see that your colleague is engaged in a conversation with someone, avoid also entering into that conversation because you're there to accomplish your goals, which is to meet all of the people that you have on your list. 2 of you at the same time with 1 person might be fun, but that's not really the purpose of why we're there. And number 10, the final tip, is follow up. In business, one of the most important things is to build trust. And following up is a great way to show our level of trust. We talk to a lot of people, we said a lot of things, now we have to do the things we said. If we said we're going to call you tomorrow, call. If we say we're going to follow up with an email, follow up with that email. But in every case, we need to follow up and meet the commitments of our promises. So good luck with networking. Get out there, be yourself, set goals, and develop your businesses and develop your brand.